Jesus H. Christ. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. If you hear a loud, horrendous, let me turn my volume down, a loud, horrendous bang like a freight train just hit a car, call my mom for me because we've got a tornado warning. And I'm sitting in the studio talking to you guys. Good, Jersey. Hi, Gail. Ian. Joycey, Jersey. Boy, Beck, you were in a hurry. Giovanna. Cool. Hey, Lena. Like I said, guys, we're under a tornado warning till 4:30, which means that it could pop down anytime. Randy's on his way home, so he'll help tell me when I need to run. Galena. Woo. They make me kind of quivery. We used to get them a whole lot more than we do now. I just got red. There we go. Okay, ignore it. Okay, we're gonna have some of those. So, Lane, I am in northwest Arkansas, right next to Missouri and Oklahoma. About 20 minutes either direction. I can do 3 states. Yeah, Lena had a good live today, and so did Kathy. Well, no, I didn't watch Kathy's yet. She was done before I got up. I watched Aunt Beck's. Well, we're just going to motor on through this. I could go open the door for Randy. I'll do that. I'll be a sweet girl. That way, if it's raining, he won't have to fumble for it. Never got. I'm back. It's icky out there. It's raining and yeah, kind of ugly cloudies. So, I am back. We'll wait a few more minutes. Where's Fort Gibson, Elaine? I should know. Hey, Azure. Wagner. Okay. Y'all will get it first. So if you blow away first, I think it's in Watts. I've lived here my whole life and I couldn't tell you where anything is. I don't know highway names or anything. I just say, turn right at the Taco Bell. Well, in addition to sitting on my butt all weekend, I actually got some stuff done. I painted this little muth, and then Randy called for a credit card, and I put my wallet right down in the middle of it, so it had pretty pink paint all over it. This is oil. Get it where you can see it. Isn't that cute? I love oil. I love everything. We'll blow it on over us, Elaine. I'm going to do, speaking of JB5, I'm going to do mine in one of Shannon's pre-done books. It's a nice card weight. Looks like I already did some stuff in this book. So anyway, that's what I'm going to use for my JB5. Let me put the little muth up here. I've gone through 110 of my, well, y'all need to see this. This is my watercolor tube organization. And I have one pan for every tube I have. The tins are labeled with a number. And the pans are labeled with the color number and tin number, so I know where they go. But I had business card magnets on the back of these, and they just weren't sturdy enough because I've tumped it way too many times to count. And when you have 200 watercolor pans all over Rosemary's studio floor, it's not fun. So I decided I was going to change them all. I got half of it done. Yay! Yay me. Anytime, Kathy. It's good for me. This is just my greens. And then I have stuck my finger in the paint again. Damn it. Obviously have more blue than this. This is the second tin of blue, so I better quit while I'm ahead. Yeah. I've just got them there so that the E9000 or EC6000. It's close. Till it dries good, and then the magnets will be on there forever. So I got that done. I had a computer. My big desktop iMac has been wonky for about a year. And I kept going to fix it. And finally it said, now you're going to fix it. I don't use it all the time because I've got a laptop. But when I need that big computer, I need it. And I did a couple of videos last week. The moth is one of them. I did a video over at the oil station, and I'll post it up when I get it edited. I've got something to do for Lena first, and then I'll do that. What else did I get done? What are you confounding, Joycey? Hey, Julia. I love my color palette. Now, no one on God's green earth needs that many tubes, but I've been doing this since 2002, so I have collected a lot. But when I do a painting, I'll go through and I'll go, okay, Do I want a warm red or a cool red, or do I need one of each? So then I go to the tin with the warm red, pick the red I want, and then go to the cool one and pick the one I want. Then I move those into an empty tin while I'm working, and that keeps me from getting too many colors on the same painting. However, colored pencils are another story. Joycey is here. Is that right? You ready for it? Da, 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 da. Do I do something, Gail, that upsets somebody? Oh, okay. They were in a plastic bin, all safe, one of those that's about this big and about this tall, that I had my oil pastels in. So every time I went to an item in that cubby, oh, oil pastels, okay. Don't ask me why I put water pastels in with oil pastels, but I did. Look at them. And these are well loved. Pat Michael is a friend, mentor of mine. She taught me a lot of what I know. And when she closed down her studio, we gifted some, and I bought some stuff. So they're well used, and the containers are well used, and everything else in my studio is pretty much pristine and new. So, Dad, I got them. I did. I found them. I knew they were in this room. So, and now I need to use them. I never even thought about using them until y'all started pulling them out. And then I couldn't find mine. Put those right there. I did this little colored pencil study sitting in my chair one night, so I had to bring it in here into the good light to figure out how to finish it. So that's from Sketchy, which gives great pictures to work from. Her face on the iPad is a whole lot yellower than it appears up here in the stream. It's cooler up here. So I got that done. Well, not done, but I feel like I haven't just wasted everything, all my time. And I did try this is the Beast. Thank you, Janet. There's a Kathy that does all the stuff in the Beast. Anyway, so I did the Neos on here and thought that I would see what kind of water this book will take. And it did dry out fairly good. I didn't soak it or anything. So now I could come back around to do some kind of a border and micron, just for fun. This type of journal is not my thing. So to make it my thing, it's not that there's anything wrong with it being a thing. It's just like we were talking the other day on somebody else's thread. Some of us love Zen doodling, and some of us, it makes us pull our hair out. And there's no real reason for that. The same thing with coloring. I already looked at that. Hey, thunder. I'm looking for a black elegant writer. I found it. So I can come back up here. Yeah, you did find it, didn't you? There it goes. So I could come back in here and just do a little checkerboard. I love doodling, but once I got these grown-up glasses with the three-way lens, I can't see it as good. I have to get down like an inch away from it to see it. So I could do something like that. I mean, I could spend a week on one page, and that's not really wise when you've got 2,000 pages. And I imagine colored pencil would work well. So anyway, I just tried that. I got out my other color sticks. These are all the Kid brand and Faber-Castells. And I bought some Faber-Castells in the kids' aisle at Hobby Lobby too. And you can't tell them apart. They have the same label. They have the same tube. I don't know which ones are which. I guess I put them all in that bag. So they're all identical. Can't tell them apart. So let's do another apple with these. That's probably not a socially correct song anymore, but I can't help it. Orange. There you go. There's your apple. My light is coming from here, so I'm just making up where the shadows would be, and the drop shadow would, the cast shadow would be there. Maybe a little bit there. Bring that down just a little, and that'll make more sense. I don't know when you get them wet. Is it after a while, or do you do several layers first? Onion. Is that what it's supposed to look like? No, I'm using water. I'm looking back. Yeah, looking for Beast. I thought it was Janet. Yeah, I had, when I was little, okay, I'm just going to go in and mush all this together. Quickly because I don't want to oversaturate. Anyway, these, I'm using my, now it's my mom. Hang on just a minute. Hello. Well, no, I'm in my room broadcasting all around the world, so I told them that if they heard a big loud sound, to be sure and call you. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully Randy will be home. Okay, I will, Mama. Bye. Oh, isn't that sweet? Supposed to hit where I'm in about 15 minutes. These are gelatos. These are Neocolor 2s. And the rest of this is kid stuff. And it works great. So if I don't get blown away first, we'll play with some of them. I can go get in one of our bathrooms. We have two. They're both inside rooms. But one of them has a humongous gun safe on the other side of the wall in the garage. So I'm not real sure that that's going to be the best place. And the babies won't go with me. They'll rough it out. So, all right. Yeah, gelatos. Baby wipe. I have one right here where I. Is that in place of the wet? The water? Oh, that does do a pretty good job. Gelatos are the Faber Castells. If I hear the syringes go off, I'm out of here. I wish I had a lighter green, a lighter, like a lemon yellow green. That might help. Putting this one down on white. Cool, this works good in here, which means that the Neocolor Choose will act the same way. Is that right? Teach me, teach me. No, Azure, I'm under a tornado warning. Yeah, oh God. Oh God, shit. No kidding. The thing that makes a bathtub safe is usually those rooms have no exterior windows and you've got all the plumbing and stuff in the walls in there, which, you know, would tend to make it a little bit stronger. Okay, wet wipe. It is then. I wouldn't have gotten. So I'm going to go back to that and add some more and see what it does. Water pencil up. You know, sometimes it's just kind of fun to have cool stuff that has been loved. See, this green is a good green, but it turns dark there. I've got a white one in the other bucket. I'm going to use that yellow. Oh, cool. See, I never really used these because I didn't really know what to do with them. That works great. Purple or magenta. Don't restrict yourself to one color family. Nothing is ever the same chroma, and that is the color of the stuff that you're using. Nothing is always the same over the whole thing. So if I'm doing a face, you may see me do, there's not a real dark red in here. Okay, so cool, that works. I used to tell people, don't worry, I won't get struck by lightning twice, but I haven't been a real good girl, so probably better label these. So this is Neo. This is Gelato. Yeah, that turned out nice. All right, let's put this up. I've got crayon twistables, which are cool. Tell you what, kids get some real neat stuff to play with these days. We were lucky to get pencils and a piece of paper. And lined our shoes with newspaper to walk 5 miles in the snow, right? And a lot of the Crayola stuff is pretty good quality. Okay, let me see what y'all are talking about. Probably did. Where did you go? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. I spy with my little eye. Thanks, Lena. I would be some kind of pissed if I lost that. Kathy, it's doing great, especially the one where I didn't put any water. That's just perfect. And this one's not bad. You could iron that out, but you'd have to be careful you didn't get your waxy stuff too wet. And I've got, for the encaustic, I've got one of those little mini irons. That turned out pretty good if I took half a second with it. At least those magnets don't come off. Damn Q-tip. So let's do another apple. We don't have a good green. It means I probably didn't get it. Uh-huh. I'm going to go in with purple first. Why do they have two? Oh, that's a blue purple and a regular purple. All right. Wonky apple. Shadow. These are so creamy. These are Crayola Twistables, guys. And if one of y'all buys something, Vicki's got to have it. So, if anybody online says they're working with something, Vicki's got to have it. These are great. This is the apple at the bottom of the bin that nobody wanted. These are just like paint. Anytime you're working with color, you'll get a different look if you put the red on top of the orange on top of the yellow is when you just put the red on top of the yellow and forget it. There's that stem. How about that? Let's just do our purple again. Or drop shadow. Bring your drop shadow into the object. That will make it graying down the purple with its complement, which is yellow. This is what makes something look like it's sitting. All right, now the big test. That's too hard. I'm like Shannon, it better be easy. This baby wipe is the best thing since sliced peaches. They seem to be dry a little bit. Nope, it is in the paper. So what we'll do is just have a little cast shadow. Yeah, this doesn't want to blend out as good. A little bit of green to knock that down. And make a big old mess. This tends to come off with the baby wipe. Look how clean. You saw how quick I did that with no streaks. This is a good buy. It'll blend with your finger if you get it pretty quick. I guess because it's a kid's product. Moms don't want it. So this will be Twistables. All right, I'm going to leave those there and pull out these other ones. I got to make sure y'all stay on screen. Now, these little puppies are solid tempera. And they're called Quick Sticks. QUIKSTIX. www.thepencilgrip.com. Somebody online said they were great, so we have them. I got these on Amazon. Ooh, that's a good prize winning apple there. I'm telling you. Okay, let me check with you guys. I think your 9-year-old does need those. You know, I do have Marabou, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Jilly. You know what, guys? I mean, yeah, they will. Jacqueline. Okay, we're going to do these. I'm glad you reminded me about the Marabous. So this time, instead of my wonky purple, y'all know what tempera is, right? It's what used to be used as wash. And you'll find lots of tempera in children's supplies. Very creamy there. Doesn't move real good. Of course it would if it was treated paper. Once I get something like this, I'm pretty happy. See, it's not moving at all. So what's the purpose? Who can answer me? What's the purpose? My mom turns 90 next month. So it kind of blends with water. Somebody needs to research these and let me know what their purpose is. Tempera. Solid tempera. So they're obviously different than, so water seems to move them. Obviously different than the others. They are very creamy. Ow! They will snap your hand. Maybe the kids' ones are supposed to dry completely to avoid messes. Not much. And the greens are bright, of course, being kids. I always use a little bit of green with anytime I use red because it gives it another dimension. Well, just gives you a grayed down version of what you were working with. Wrong end, baby. It'll work better if you get the right end. There's a little highlight and a little brim light. Like I'm really getting technical here. Got brown, don't want brown. There's the black, don't use black. This is a dark purple. They are very creamy when you put them on. But not intended to move with your finger. Or the wet wipe. So the only thing I've used is water. Who got my pen? My pen is on my water brush. Come on. All right, where did I put it? Hey, Wendy. Are you talking about the tempera? Okay, I see now. Well, let me know, Gail, if you hear the syringes. Oh, I don't know. I've never had anybody ask me that before. And I can't check it. I can't do anything without my water brush. Nothing hit the floor. Okay. I'll check that, Gail. But I think I've checked it before. See, I'm on a map, so I don't have access to any software for autofocus. I'm thinking about trying Minicam. Yeah, it's supposed to dry quick. Offered in vibrant rainbow colors, bright neons, shiny gold metallic. Their paints, so keep them capped. It's awesome jersey in caustic. Hey, Cheshire. Okay. Okay. Now they've extended it to 5:30. Yeah, I do. That's what I call sirens. Syringes. Syringes are blowing. You got to be quick around me now. Hey, Whispering. Bye, Mary. I love encaustic jersey. Look on my website and you'll see some encaustic. I just don't know how you would best use these. Okay, put that up. Did I put my water brush in here? No. Okay, so those, oh, here it is. I spy with my little eye. Moves a little. Not much. Okay, write that down. These are quick cool. Now, let's go on. To these. These are the distressed crayons. I've been a little less impressed with them than I thought, but since I had never used Neos, I don't know what I was expecting, but there you go. Now, I've got a couple of marabous in here. I have an orange one and a black one. I have a limey green. That's not, I think I only have 2 marabous. Here's red. Pale yellow and a white. We'll just keep to the same colors. Marabous do not seem to smudge either, nor does the baby wipe work. Water does. And these are such a great price. Let's go with yellow first. All of the marabou stuff I think is good quality and works well. I have I need to get those out. Scribble stick here. I haven't been happy with these because they've been breaking easy. Now we know that scribble sticks blend. The green is scribble. Man, it just goes on like playing with your mother's lipstick. Back to scribble. See, that's great with the baby wipe. This baby wipe is almost dry. I think I like those better blended by hand, and then you avoid that wrinkledy paper. Want to get fancy, you can put some lines in. I need a stem. So this one is there it is. This one is distress. and marabou. Any questions? Thank you, Gail. What's art.com, Cheshire? My first link. You'll have to copy and paste it. I don't know why YouTube does that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Which one do I like best? I guess for color range, I'd have to go with Distress. But they're kind of all the same softness. I think I like these, the marabous. Number one, I think the casing is a little bit better. The Distresses just seem to break if you look at them, which I'm not real happy with. I mean, you know, what are you going to do? They're pretty much all the same. So I would then say it probably boils down to water soluble or permanent when it's dry. Gotta put those up. I got these half off at on Black Friday, and I'm glad I went ahead and got the 10s. It's a whole lot easier to keep track of them. I have no idea about it. It seemed to be because it did not re-wet with a baby wipe or water. Are y'all talking about something I need to be involved in? Oh, the road. I see what you're saying, Jersey. Yeah, the roadmap is a free download. And it also gets you registered on the class information list. And that's the same list as my blog, which I haven't done in a while, and information about the class. And if you have any questions about the class, Lena's taking it, and she's doing great. Of course, I'm not going to take credit for it. I think she was doing great before. Ooh, that apple needs a stick, doesn't it? I'm sure that'll make it better. Ooh, those are some ugly apples. Okay, Janet, wherever Janet is, I have broken in my beast. So we talked about the JB5s. We talked about my Neo 2s. And have I blown away yet? No, and it's 5 o'clock. So see, I did good. I loved this book when I got it. The idea was so great, but the magnet isn't strong enough to hold all the pages down flat. So I guess that means I could put some more of my little super duper iridium stick anything batteries. I mean, magnets. Whoops. See how strong they are? They won't stay on my finger. It's too close. See? I got these on AliExpress, and we get away from my electronics. Boy, that's cool. Watch. Cool, huh? Anyway, I ended up getting a couple hundred. They were, you know, a couple dollars a piece. Y'all know, I think you know this about me, that I get bored real easy. So I'll just do a slam bam, thank you, ma'am, and then I'm done with something, and I don't ever come back unless it's a painting. This lady's face has an awful lot of yellow in it in the real life. And I put it on one of those backgrounds that I did with the distress crayons. I'm liking the big suitcase I got, because I can just flip the ring binder page over. And if I pull a if I pull a pencil out and put it back in, I leave it sticking out a little bit so I'll know which one I used. Not that it matters, because I've been kind of skipping all over, breaking my rules about color. Shoot. Limited color. I'll get it out in a minute. I don't know where that one goes. So her face needs some yellow ochre. She also needs some pink. It doesn't really matter which one I pick. I'm just doing real light, because I want to make this mixed media paper last as long as I can. So she's a little bit pinker in there. That pink right here is left over from when I did the distress stuff back here. Colored pencil is not my first love. I don't know what happened right there. I like them. Also, when I started this the other night, I tried to put down my whites first so they wouldn't be contaminated. And this is the color, it's the one that gives you the most coverage. It's still kind of yellow right there, but I'd really rather talk to y'all. And I need kind of a cad red light. For her nose. There's a lot of blood flow in the nose. That's why you'll often see a reddish color like this. I'm not happy with her mouth at all. So I'm going to flip through here and see what I can do about that. I don't think that's dark enough. Bless her heart. Barely has a tooth in her head. I need to pink up her lips a little bit. I don't like that. I'm sure she's probably been chewing on something, and that's why the black look around her mouth. Okay, I want to talk to you. I think they're fine, Kathy. The distress crayons. I don't know if I'd buy them again. Oh, crap. Okay, I need to, yeah. First link doesn't work. Hang on, let me type that in and see if I can figure out what's wrong. Okay. I got in by typing it raw. Let me go back over here. There's a whole page there about the class. And don't go over there reading it expecting to see a lot of projects or we're going to paint this boat or we're going to paint this sky. I'm going to tell you why it looks the way it does so that when you see some, you'll know how to do it yourself. So mine is more of a basics college university type class. And it will build on what you've already done. I do explain the 4 major media, oil, watercolor, and encaustic. And there are a few projects for those. But it's not totally project. And then with the information that you learn, you'll be ready to go out there and take classes that will mean something. And you'll know why they're doing something. Or call them out if they're not doing it. There's that. This is the information that took me about 15 years to learn. And I had to dig it out for myself. Because not one workshop or one tutor that I went to stressed it. It's like I was trying to scream at Lena today on her stream. Values are great. That's the dark to light. But if you're doing a face, you've also got to worry about temperature. That's why I keep using green on the areas that turn away from the light. The light's over here. So I keep using green over here to cool this down because cool recedes. And that's the kind of stuff you learn in my class. It's a school, really. All right, what are you going to do with the rest of this? I need a cool brown. A lot of the browns in these colored pencil stacks are warm colors. Oh my God, Lena, do I dare? Burn umber. Now, a real colored pencil artist could work on this for another 2 or 3 days. This colored pencil artist will be on to something else tomorrow. And shake things up a little bit. I want some magenta or something like that. The value is also important, in that anything that falls in the same value color can be used in the same area. Looks fine from far away, but when you get up close to it, you can see the variations in the color, which gives it interest. There will be a test after this video. Just kidding. Just kidding. Need a little bit of black around that eye. Now let's put, I might get right down on it to see it. And then this new pen is the Faber-Castell White India ink. I like it loads. If you'll put a little bit of white where the eye meets the eyelid, you'll get that moisture look that makes that eye look more real. Whoops. Well, we did that. Any questions? Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. I wouldn't, Kathy, if you have the marabous. I'd stick with those. When Marabou came out with their brand, and then Arteza started coming out right about after that, and Marabous were doing these huge discounts on everything, and but I think the Marabous are better quality. I did get what I started to tell y'all a while ago. I got the Marabou marbling set from Joggles. We're gonna have some fun with that one of these days. Oh, thank you, Jersey. Once you learn the basics and once you learn about color theory and how to mix colors and the values and temperatures, you can work in any medium. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a learning curve. She's looking pretty good. I'm looking at her through my iPhone screen. I love ethnic people. Yeah, and I encourage you to take other classes, but you'll get more out of them again once you know the basics. I take other classes too. Could be tattoos. I wouldn't, Kathy. It's not worth it. I mean, if you want to get the twistables just for fun, that's a different story because you're not talking about much money. Or y'all can ask Miss Lena, and I expect her to give you a truthful report. And now, what you're going to do? What sand? What sanded plastic sticks? I think I'll leave that one alone. Thank you, Azure. You'll never be able to see them. Oops, that was the iPad. You'll never be able to totally see them, but it sure does make it more fun to look at. I think our lips look better that mauve color than the gray. Get back in there. I'm catching up. I think Marabou's pretty good. Oh, thank you. Faces are the one thing I started with early. I love faces. I could put a dot on her. I could put a white dot on her earring, even though we don't want it to be. We don't want anybody to look over there first. We want them looking right here. And I could keep working on this and make it more intense. But for being in a journal, I think it's pretty good. 511. I didn't finish with Chad, I don't think. I did. Starter kit for marbling, Cheshire. I think I got them all. Joggles had them on real good sale. May have been 50%. So I want to do, with you guys, I want to do the marbling with the marabou. I don't want to do the fingernail polish one because it stinks so damn bad. Here's a sample of the watercolor, with the fingernail polish. And then I want to do the India ink on a bed of water. It's a Japanese, old Japanese technique that's really cool. And then I've got the paints and the mixture from a real marbling company. I haven't cracked them open, but that might be fun too. So we got some stuff going on. I am just so tickled I got that computer working. Yeah, Cheshire, me too. But they're there when we're ready for them, right? Yeah. Lena said, do I have to make those color charts? That's only if you want to learn about color. And if you don't know this yet, I recommend limited palette for beginners or for intermediates for that matter. Advanced. I still work with a limited palette sometimes. Lena did her painting of, I don't remember who it was that you painted, but it was with the Zorn palette. He's a Swedish artist who was famous for working with his 4-color palette, and it's ivory black, yellow ochre, red, vermilion, and white. And you can make almost any color in the rainbow with those 4, except for bright colors. You're never going to get bright colors with them. But if you're painting faces, you'll get a lot of action out of those 4. But what it does, it helps you learn exactly what those 4 colors do together. And if you add another color or another 2 colors, it changes every mix on your palette, because the change of a purple or red, like an alizarin crimson, with your yellow ochre and black is going to be totally different. So you have to do your color charts over again. Shibangashi. Thank you, Rosemary. See, I don't button. Yeah, it is. It's a special mixture. I bought a powder to mix it up with. You can do it with liquid starch, but if I can, I like to work with the traditional materials too. Let me get one of these color charts. I'll show you guys. All right, 3's enough. The master artists recommend that you do a new set of color charts every year. And anytime you alter your set palette, this is a set palette, limited colors that a guy named Ken Oster uses, and this is outdoor palette. These 4, plus white, of course. And then these are the colors you can mix from this palette. Those, and those. And here's the Zorn palette, and that is the vermilion or the cad red light, yellow ochre, black, and white. And these are all the colors you can make with it. I took, and I have, I'm a sap for anything new and different. I bought a John Howard Sandon set of ready mixed pigments. Well, to use this, I do the same thing in oil that I do with everything else. I don't want to, if I'm making this color right here, I want to see part of the red and part of the ochre. So I don't mix it to death. These are mixed to death. So pre-bought. But anyway, I wanted to see how those color ranges fit with what I was mixing. A little more orange, like here. See, right there. I mean, it's right on the money. So why buy pre-mixed? I think there's 12 colors in here when you can mix it with 2. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is another artist. Everybody's got the favorite technique, and everybody's got what they think you ought to do. This is the palette that I'm now using most often. And this is for my personal palette. Nope, that's not it. This one. But now Randy's home. I didn't blow away. Sorry. This one is basically a, I can't talk over that. Good. All right, wind down. Okay. This is basically a split primary. What that means is a warm and cool blue, a warm and cool red, and a warm and cool yellow. And so you need, that's something that's vital to understand when you mix color or when you look for color. Cat orange is an extra. And this mud is a color that's used as a base color to mix an awful lot. So it's half ultramarine, half alizarin. But this mixed with that will give you wonderful browns and siennas and stuff like that. So I usually just mix up a big old wad of it. Are y'all bored yet? This is the color chart for these colors. So I can make all these colors with just these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. Get some beautiful tints and gray tones, grays. Every time I change my palette, I do a new set of charts. Look how pretty this is. And each of these is made with a single pigment color, which means you don't have to deal with, like craft paint, sky blue. You don't have to deal with which yellow or which green they put in that, or whatever they put in it, and then try to mix a third color with it and you get something that's ugly and muddy. These are just 2 colors, and I can go to this chart and say, okay, I like that color right there. I made it with cad orange and cad red light, and this is what it looks like when it's white, when the white's added. And so it's so quick. You don't need a formula. You don't need a book with recipes. This is your recipe, and you've made it, so it's yours. And that's how I use it. You saw me a while ago. Just fold it like that and hold it up to something that I want to see how close the color is. So I can mix this, and if it ends up needing a little more blue, then I can just add a little more blue to that, and I'll get spot on the color. And this is another called a living artist. He's one of the best living oil painters there is. And this is his palette. He adds Terra Rosa, even though he can mix it. He says he uses it so much, he wants it on his palette. And transparent oxide red is another one that he puts on there. The rest of them, Viridian, the rest of them are pretty much the same. Yellow ochre, I don't use because I learned from my very first teacher how to mix it. There's some beautiful colors on here too. But you won't get them if I don't take my palette and lay out all of these colors. This is useless. So, I gave you all a little mini lesson there. Jersey, I can make these all day long. Hey, Hottie, we're talking. I know, he's been gone since noon. What is Goya Taco? I don't know that one. It's funny how that happens, isn't it, Wendy? Hey, Emma. I've got another set with the first palette that I used, and I learned from an oil teacher who was very well known, you know, national award winning and everything. And she uses 16 colors. And I mean, that chart comes all the way out here, but oh my God, some of the colors on there are just luscious. And I can mix them all in about half a heartbeat. I had a tutor, another tutor, one that sells his paintings in the $20,000 range. I needed a teal, like a turquoise tealy color. And he said, well, just let me get my tube out of the drawer because it'll take you you'll never be able to mix it. By God, I did. And I mixed it by looking at my color chart and those two colors, and I had it. And he came back and he said, damn, I want your color chart. I said, well, you're going to have to make your own. Going to have to make your own. I don't remember which. I think it was in Templeton in my big color chart. But I love them. I love making them. Oh, okay. I remember fish printing. Of course it is, Button. Gluing lace to junk mail or junk journals or making paper by chewing it or, you know, whatever it is that you think is just crafty crap. If you study long enough and go back to the 3rd and 4th century in China and Japan, the Eastern influences, you'll find those same things. You'll find stamping, you'll find painting on fabric, you'll find everything. I mean, nothing is new. Everything is valid. Well, it depends on how your butt looks. That's why I started doing mixed media. I know some of y'all have heard this. I paint realism, and on the iPad, not photorealism, but and so I needed to learn how to play and loosen up. See if I can find one. Find a quick one for you. One of my favorites. Come on, turn. Turn, 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 baby girl. This is what I like to do. This is oil. And it's a big one, 16 by 20. I mean, you know, big enough. But I know how to do this. When I started doing junk journals, I didn't have a freaking clue how to glue paper on without worrying about if it was perfect and if it was this, that, or the other. So that's why I started taking or doing mixed media stuff, because I want to learn how to loosen up here. Yeah, you do get to try new stuff, and there's all kinds of new products because they do know how to market. Where in oil painting, you got 10 tubes. I mean, there's nothing else to buy. That's it. Let's see if I can find another one. Another one. Here's a hottie. Jersey, this is encaustic. Colors are awful compared to what they really are. This is golden, and here's another example of that weird color. On here, it's a bright green, and there's quite a bit of green up in here on his face. I'm good at still life, but I don't know how to set them up. I'm not any good setting them up. Here's the painting. I think I've shown Lena. Come on. This is a painting of Zorn's mother that he painted, and his painting was huge. This one's like 9 by 12, and I painted it with his 4 colors. The only color that I couldn't get was the bright green. I mean, and that wasn't all he used either. His studio was full of other colors. Can't find the one I want to show you. You want to flip through and see some of my paintings, go to Fine Art America. I've got a lot of them on there. Of course, like everything else, I'm behind. Nope, nope, nope. I used to keep my pictures perfect. This one's the one I wanted to show you. These are all paintings. I have painted my miles worth. Oh, this is another one. This is my niece and nephew when they were little. Josh is 23 now. My brother is a professional photographer. He took this picture, and they look so sad or whatever. But the very next camera frame he took, they're laughing. And it's the funniest thing because he looks like Alfred E. Newman on Mad. He's got 2 great big front teeth. She hates her front teeth. So it's the funniest thing ever. And I've got it started. I just need to finish it. Here. This was done from a snapshot, and they were premature twins, and that was the only picture they had of them the day they came home from NICU. So, and that was my cousin's 2 babies. I work on it for probably about 6 months. Mixed media is a whole lot faster. Nothing is off limits. That's true. Yeah, mixed media is my playtime, but it also teaches me how to play. Thank you, Elizabeth. When I started painting, I didn't know which end of a brush to use. And y'all know, a lot of you know my story. So, yeah, that's wax jersey. What did you not like about Aura, Wendy? Curious. Thanks, Lena. Okay, the cleanup can be, dicey, waiting for it to dry. I mean, you saw me flip around with this wet one today. But the secret is you just have 4 or 5 going at the same time, and you prop them up and let them dry, and then work on them a week later. And the advantage to that is you're clear headed with it, and you can come back and know where you're going. The smell is minimal, and I don't use much um, solvent. I just use a little bit, maybe a couple tablespoons, and I keep the lid on it all the time. And that's how I get around the smell. The oil paint itself has no odor because the only thing in it are the pigments that you find in acrylic or watercolor. And the binder in that is oil, linseed oil, and it's just like your cooking oil. Doesn't have any more odor than that. Um, Azure, you really don't have to mess with. I mean, you don't have to worry about the flammability. Um, you can clean brushes with Murphy oil soap or Whisk laundry detergent, and it does just as good. Yeah, Gail. I mean, you can't. If you're going to paint alla prima, then you can finish the whole painting in one day, or a couple hours. But you can't do anything with it until it dries. Yeah, back in that day, they used real turpentine, and that will knock your socks off. Yeah, water soluble is the solution, Gail. It sure is. They do. What I use is Bamsol. It's by Gamblin, and it's odorless mineral spirit, and it has a little bit of an odor, but not much. But it is still a solvent, and you still have to use great care when you use it. Um, it's still flammable. You can still splash it all over everything. You cannot put it down the sink drain or in your yard. You have to dispose of any of those petroleum products as though it was motor oil. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, that can give you. And I like the smell of turpentine, but it would give me a headache, I think, if I painted 4 or 5 hours. Sure, Button, that's Gamsol is the only solvent I use with oil, and not much of that. And that's what Shauna and them are using for the Genesis oils, which are not oils, they're clay, but they're using that for a solvent. And I thought, well, wait a minute, I thought everybody was sensitive. I can't smell this, can't smell that. Well, solvents will make sensitive people have reactions. But again, I don't leave mine open. I use it just a little bit in the very beginning and then I close it. There are people that take their brushes and man, they'll just get in that Gamsol pot and they'll do this. They're splashing and getting odors all over the place. I don't do that. I get in a little bit and then I wipe it off on a paper towel. And at the end of the day, if I really think about it, I'll take that out to the trash. I just like the way oils go on, but I like that. I like watercolor the same and encaustic the same. They're each different. And the other thing about the Gamsol is you don't throw it away when it gets cloudy and dirty. If all of the paints or whatever you're using will sink to the bottom, and then you've got all that clear stuff at the top. And if it gets too cloudy and you have too much sediment at the bottom, you pour the top part off into a clean jar and let that sediment dry. And just sit it outside and let it dry, and it'll dry out into a paste that's easier to get rid of. No, it's not hard at all, Gail, to do glazes. Bye, Elizabeth. Um, you do have to use a different medium, either a liquid, which is, believe it or not, an acrylic-based thing that you use with your oil. It also makes them dry faster. So there's lots of little things. You can use linseed oil, to glaze with. Yes, when you're glazing, you do have to let the layers dry just like you do in watercolor. I haven't done that much glazing. The old masters used it all the time because they typically did most of their painting in earth colors because those were cheap and readily available. And the reds and blues were nearly impossible to get a hold of. So they glazed to make up for the fact they didn't have a huge color choice. Tornado warning now. Okay, till 6:15. Gail, that's the other thing I teach. You don't have to buy any more than 6 colors and you're ready to go. Maybe 7. So, hey, Jean, did you get home safe and sound? I'd love to see it, Gail. Can you send it to me? Oh, oil brushes are cheap. Watercolor brushes are the ones that are expensive. You can PM me, you can email me, I'm all over the place. Here's my email. I am easy to find. If you have any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Are they in oil, Gal? Your grisaille? I've done grisaille in acrylic. Not near as much fun as it is in oil because the acrylic dries and you lose the acrylics. Yeah, I've done them in acrylic and then put pastels on top of them. Well, thanks, Rosemary. You could keep your waterfall by yourself. I hope that your etcher mirror works well for you. Here's the edge. Spinning. There it goes. It came back, didn't it? My studio is perfectly neat when all I did was pastels and oils and watercolor, and then I added mixed media, and now it looks like a trash dump. I'll show you a good pastel. This is soft pastel. Most people don't realize what can be accomplished with that medium. Go away, go away. And this is soft pastel. Whoop. Just trying to pick out a really, really good one. This is soft pastel. I did it in pastel and in oil. And this is the pastel version. And it hung, it was in a juried competition, paintings from all over the world, and hung in a gallery in Santa Fe on Canyon Road for a while. It was the Ventana Gallery. It was there for a month. So I was tickled with that. But I quit doing competitions because they're too expensive. And you're logically painting just for the competitions, and that's not good for you. And there's the oil one. No, this is the pastel one. And that's the oil one. Lighting causes things to look different in photographs. So about the only thing I don't feel like I excel in is landscape. This is, you might enjoy this. This is made with pan pastels. Come on, turn. There you go. So that's all pan pastel, and everything on here is painted, even the top of my easel and the clips I was using to hold it up. And the only time I used stick pastel was for some of the scratchiness. You can't get that with the pans. Well, alrighty. I started painting in 2002 and played with it. Didn't really get serious about it. But for those of you that don't know, the reason is because our house burned down on Christmas Eve of 2001, Christmas morning, and our daughter died. So it was either take up art or die, do something or die. And so once I decided that art was what I really wanted to do, it was about 2 years later, I think, about 2004. That's all I've done since. And I've studied with the best teachers I could find and the best materials I could afford. And I just kept doing it. Oh, thanks, Gail. If I had stuck to one genre, like portraits and oil or still life and pastel, I didn't know time where I'd be, but I had to work on all of them all at the same time because I get bored. Art is a healing thing. I was a graphic designer, Jean, in my maybe the last 25, 30 years, but it was all with a computer. So, that's more typography and putting elements that somebody else has designed together. We use clip art all the time and stuff. So yeah, creative. I've always been into crafts like sewing and hanging wallpaper and stuff like that, but never anything really arty. I was in music when I was all through high school, so I didn't have time for art because you had to pick. Oh gosh, yeah, it's the same year as 9/11, so this will be the 17th year. She was just a few weeks shy of 15, so she's been gone now more than she was here. Um, so yeah, I mean it does help. What I teach people is that if you can master the basics and master the basics of color, just use a limited assortment of stuff so that you can train your muscle memory and your eye-hand coordination to know what to do. Then when you paint, you can disappear into that place where you're just in your mind and you're not thinking about the bad stuff. And when you can not think about the bad stuff, your soul can have a rest. It's like a break. And you come out of that zone and you feel like you've had 12 hours of sleep. And to me, that's what art does. I don't get that so much with mixed media, and I definitely don't get it with YouTube lives because you're focused on the communication stuff. Yeah, I think we've got a pretty nice network here. Um, and I didn't get into mixed media. Like I told you, I got into mixed media myself to learn how to play. I've been serious my whole life. But then I got involved with all of you guys, and y'all kind of switched from a lot of mixed media people switched from mixed media, and all of a sudden you're starting to spend $150 on high quality watercolors and play with them. I'm thinking, holy cow, y'all are coming at the fine art from the crafting area, and the people in fine art really want to play with the mixed media, but they don't want to ruin their reputation. So a lot of them lurk. So I was sitting in the middle. All of a sudden, I know a lot about mixed media, and I know a hell of a lot about fine art. So that was when I put my class together, and it's really done more as a healing than painting. Like I said, projects and stuff. Eventually, when it gets going a little bit, part of the proceeds from that will go to a school for disabled children that Sarah volunteered at a couple summers. And anyway, that's the plan. But I don't promote it right. I don't spend every day, all day on marketing because I don't like to do it. Which is stupid because that's what our company did. It was Ross Marketing. I need somebody to do all that for me. I don't know how some of you guys stream for 4 hours. I do good to make it to 2. Azure, they're fine. Don't worry about them being $19 watercolors. It's when you want to experience more that all this other stuff comes into play. And as long as those $19 watercolors work for you and what you're trying to do in journaling and crafts and stuff like that, that's all you need. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, Jean, it's a social life, really. I mean, I met Rosemary online and then met her in person, so now we're real friends instead of just friends in the box. But if you're going to be an artist, if you're going to be a creative person, Jean, like you in music, if you're going to be a musician, it is a solitary confinement, and you better be prepared to spend 3 or 4 hours alone doing what you're doing. And like it or hate it, social media is an excellent outlet for us creative ones. What set did you find, Azure, that you like? And you'd never know it, but I am an art snot. I would never allow craft paint in my studio until I started mixed media nuts taking over everything. The only time that I get on a soapbox about the quality of your materials is if you start selling your work. And then you need to be able to be assured that your work is going to last, not fade or disintegrate or all that stuff after somebody has paid money for it. Oh, those are supposed to be pretty good, Azure. Yep, because I've seen what happens when you don't have good stuff. If you're trying to paint, I mean, not everybody wants to learn how to paint. Wow, you guys are lucky living up there on the East Coast. It cost me, I wanted to go to Patty's deal in where it is, Pennsylvania, whatever. But crap, it's $2,500 for me to get there and stay for a couple of days. I watched a lot of Craft Shack when I was starting in mixed media. What was your favorite instrument, Jean, in your music? I can go to France for 2 weeks for the same amount of money. Well, I mean, that's not really true. For a little bit more money. Ah, I only sang voice in church, but I was clarinet and piano. But music's a good. It's really good for people, and art is too. And I hate it that they're taking it out of the schools because piano is good for math and analytical skills, and art's good for everything. In fact, I when I first did some classes online in 2009, a couple of um, I can't get the word out. Teachers in California who write curriculum and stuff wanted to take my very elementary class. It was done by an artist in Australia. They took it and they wrote a curriculum for middle school students where it had English tied in with writing stories about the artist that you're studying. It had geography because she was in Australia. It had math and teaching them how to measure and get proportions right. It was awesome. And science because of how the paints are made and that sort of thing. So it fit right in with their other studies. But they priced the damn thing at $35,000 for a school to run a 6-week program. I had no idea that kind of educational stuff was so expensive. I would have probably gone, and we had a school that wanted it. We demoed it and everything in Alma, Arkansas, but the only way they could have done it is if we'd given it to them. So another little idea didn't quite pan out. Oh my God, Wendy, that takes air. That's cool, Joycey. A band director has to be fluent in all of those instruments. Maybe not be a master at playing them, but he's got to know them. Well, guys, oh, cool. I can't wait to see it. Jean, you'll appreciate this. I was in a beauty pageant in 1967. Oh my God, that goes back. My talent was Liberace. And the guy from the newspaper tape recorded my performance. And my mother had that. It wasn't obviously a cassette, it was a reel to reel tape. She had that all this time. And last year, I found somebody that could take it and see if there was anything on it. And there was. You could hear what I was playing, but it's real fuzzy. But boy, talk about a blast from the past. That tape kicked around in Mom's house for 50 years. Yeah, if I could get a little clip off of it, I'll send it to you. It's fun. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go in there and see if the front part of the house blew off. I don't think it did. And Aunt Beck, have fun. And I'll drop in on everybody's when I can. I don't do a whole lot of studio stuff. I'm glad you did too, and I'm glad you're home safe. You guys are so welcome. I love you all. Thanks for coming. And over and out. I'll see you guys Thursday. We might have an oil painting dry enough to go back in on. I don't know. This one's not, but we'll find something fun. I promise. Okay, I'm done. Quit gabbing. Bye.